Hey, good afternoon. It's Brandon Devnich from i3dTHEMES. So truly, sometimes the most difficult problems end up having the simplest of solutions. You know, whether it's in web development or in business or in life, you know, sometimes what seem to be really difficult problems end up having simple solutions. No, not always. Sometimes the tough problems are really quite difficult and the solutions are quite complex, and we see that in the news and day to day. But you know, sometimes, and often actually, the most difficult, seemingly difficult issues do have simple solutions, but you maybe don't tackle the problem. Well, in order to get that simple solution, you have to put in the effort. And that is just the same as in web development or in business or in life. You have to put in the effort if you want to get the solution. And case in point, this week we had a couple nagging issues and we were trying to tidy up all the development for Accelerator, and there were a couple rendering issues on very few, but a couple websites that seemed to be insurmountable. But we had to fix it. In very rare, obscure situations. But we said, well, we're going to have to figure it out. So we had to dig into it, and we dug and we dug and we dug. We dug some more, and then we tried a couple different things. We came up with a solution. It was 3 lines of code, which is a pretty simple solution in the grand scheme of things when the Accelerator system is probably 10,000 lines of code or more. But we wouldn't have gotten there had we not just, you know, gotten in there and got down to work. Same sort of thing goes with everything else in life. If you want a solution, you have to put in the effort. Speaking of somebody that put in effort, Colin Fraser in the design lab this week, that guy, I tell you, he's been working on this tutorial and design series for Rasa, our newest website template. He's been wanting to craft something where he could share his experience on user interface and user experience, UI and UX. And so he thought, as developing the Rasa template, he would come up, build a bunch of content that he could share with all of his years of experience in this forum. He could impart all this tips and tricks, if you will, in a sort of design series. So he's crafted 23 articles, and this week he did something like 35 or so videos alone this week to be put within his articles. And so we shared one of those, the very first, the getting started, basically his video where he says, "Hello, this is Colin Fraser," and you get to see Colin himself. And so he's going to be putting those together as sort of a insight series of videos as well. We're going to be releasing those over the coming weeks. So look to our blog. You should find them there. We should also post them out to Facebook and probably to our Google Plus page as well. So coming up next week, we start work on our WordPress plugin of Accelerator. We're just nearing the end and completion of phase 1 of development of Accelerator. We're pretty excited. This little plugin has exceeded all of our expectations for what it can do. Pretty much most websites that go and install it now are running at 99%, 99 out of 100 for Google PageSpeed. Some sites a little bit less, some sites even 100. So we're pretty stoked about that. So at this point, we're going to start work on the WordPress plugin. And as optimizing for Google PageSpeed is becoming more and more an essential aspect of having a website, and there are something like 25% of the world's websites run WordPress, we figure that there's probably going to be some need, some desire for this type of plugin. In fact, it was only yesterday I had another customer say, "Yeah, do you do page speed optimization for WordPress?" I'm like, hold on. We got something coming down the pipes. Anyways, that's what's been keeping us busy here at i3dThemes this week. If you have any comments or you have any questions or anything that you'd like to add as feedback, please, there's a feedback or comment field below. We'd love to hear from you. And anyways, thanks so much for joining me, and we will talk to you again next week. Have yourself a fantastic weekend.